Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back for another video. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, hi, my name is Dawn Marie. I'm so glad to have you. For all of you guys that are coming back again, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for all the love. We are going to talk about how I quit multitasking. It has brought me so much joy in my life. I feel less stressed out. I'm actually accomplishing more. It feels like a major way to just tap into the easy yoke of Jesus, that light burden that he promises us. I feel more present with my kids. There's so much to talk about, so stay tuned.
You're watching Food Joy Mom.
Well, you know, if you can catch the theme of the videos for the last few months, at least one of them anyways, has been really paying attention to being present in my life, to not just skim the top, but to really live deeply into the life that I've been given and be present and enjoy it. God's brought me a lot of different resources. He just continues to make my path in front of me straight as I seek him, wisdom, all kinds of stuff. So one of the newest things I'm doing is I have intentionally, deliberately, forcefully quit multitasking, which, okay, right off the bat, let me just say, if you're a mom with kids, which you probably are, right? If you're a mom with little kids especially, I understand that there's a certain level to which we can't not multitask. I totally get that, guys. I'm a mom too. I had 4 kids in 5 years. I still have 4 kids in 5 years. So it's like there is a lot of multitasking that happens naturally that we can't really do anything about. But there is so much, I think, that we do to ourselves. And as I look at who I want to be as a mom, which is someone that is really calm and happy and full of love and not touchy and fretful and resentful and not quick to fly off the handle or irritated with my kids, like life baseline has plenty of opportunities as a mom to be frustrated. I don't need to add to that by multitasking. Truly, as I've assessed what's happened to me once I quit multitasking, I've realized, oh my goodness, I am walking through my life, number one, without the same level of stress and anxiety. I am finding myself not having to like muscle through the right reaction when something goes wrong because I'm already like available. So my mind wasn't split 10 ways when the kid spilled the milk all over the place or punched each other, whatever the thing. Nobody punches each other in my house. I mean, I have girls, they hit. Yeah, okay, this is a rabbit trail. Anyways, you get the point. Like when the chaos of mom life occurs, I can be the one that steps in at peace because I wasn't 10 tasks in at the same time and I can't even get my brain to show up for another 15 minutes because I've got to close down 100 different things I was doing. My mind is not so full. I found myself before, it's like I just was living under a certain level of stress that I had become accustomed to. So one little thing sort of tipped me over the edge because I was already so close to my threshold. And I kept interpreting that as like needing more breaks, needing more sleep, take better care of my body, which all of those things are very important and part of the puzzle. But I was draining myself and actually not being as effective as I was multitasking. I was stressing myself out so much by having too many things going at the same time. And really, it's not any faster. Plus, it's me feeding into the way of the world that says, I've got to go, I've got to push, I have to accomplish, I've got to check things off the list. Really, I have made choices in my life to weed out and pare down what we do on a daily basis to the crucial core things that I think are very important to our life. And so there isn't a lot of other stuff. I mean, I'm still a mom that has a ton to manage, right? Like I have a ton to manage, But actually, as I say that, I really feel convicted because one of the adjustments I've had to make in the last few months is mentally being okay with the pace I've set myself up as, because I'm used to moving at such a faster pace. I'm used to having such a stressful, long to-do list. I'm used to that stress of just gotta go, too much on the list, that I almost don't know how to pace myself throughout my day to enjoy it, to be in the moment, or just to be okay with moving at this slower pace. And for a while it was like, oh my goodness, am I being lazy? Am I, like all those mental things needed dealt with? And now it's just getting myself to be enjoying this rhythm. And I really have. I'm still working on it. It's interesting how fast I can rush, just get so caught up in moving quickly and then have to slow myself down. So we've made a lot of intentional choices lately, and it's interesting because as I've quit multitasking, I've realized I trained my kids to expect me to multitask everywhere, all the time. And I think we kind of glorify that as a mom, which there's grace for this, absolutely. Moms are amazing. We do so much. We keep so much going. And God did, if you're looking at the male and female brain, God gifted us with a different type of brain that is suitable, but to an extent, because it's not really multitasking. It's just like splitting your attention and making the task you're focusing on smaller. So I focused on this for 10 seconds and then this and then this and then this and then this, and it's a more chaotic way, I think, to live. So now it's been me focusing fully on one task, get that thing done. Don't try and pair something else with it that's going to just pull from my mental capacity. Just do that one thing and do it well, and then move on to the next thing, and do it at a pace where I shouldn't be feeling stress in my body, like folding the laundry or doing the dishes or whatever my things are that I'm doing. There shouldn't be this monkey on my back that's like, go, go, go. And so I have dealt with that, and it's been really great to just lean into a constant awareness of what is my brain telling my body, what is my subconscious doing, am I feeling the weight of stress, and then deciding like, where is this coming from? So back to the kids. It's been really interesting to I actually had to recognize I needed to give them grace, because I made this mental adjustment and then I was expecting them to like immediately get it. Of course they don't. It's a habit. I have trained them that I'm available for conversation pretty much all the time, like any moment of any day. So what I've found is, like, I'm in the middle of gardening and my son is trying to talk to me about something. It might even be in relation to gardening itself, but I can't even fully pay attention to what's going on because I value him. I value what he has to say and I want to listen. And so I'm not actually multitasking. Even if I would allow him to continue to talk at me, I'm doing both jobs poorly because I'm not focused on either of them 100%. So I would forget where I had planted something, miss track of something, be just like stressed out because I missed what he said or wasn't paying attention well enough. So that's one example that really sticks out to me, and my kids sort of do it all the time. So I've had to sit them down, or just like in life told them, hey, mom's making this adjustment. I am not going to be multitasking anymore. And then as they come to talk to me when I'm in the middle of doing something, just politely reminding them, hey, remember, mommy doesn't multitask anymore. So you can see that I'm in the middle of doing something, which means you need to wait until I'm finished. And then we can talk. And like, we're homeschooled and I have great relationships with my kids. So I think probably a fear could be like, oh my goodness, you're going to miss out on these opportunities. But it's actually not the case at all, because I finish my task, I close that part of my brain down, and then I turn to my kids like, okay, they have given me space to do this activity. And so now how can I go and pay attention to them? How can I check in with them? How can I see how they're doing? We talk constantly throughout the day, but there was an excessive amount of it because they had just been accustomed to approaching me no matter what I'm doing, and being able to talk with me. It's really interesting because I stopped listening to sermons while I'm doing other things. And I think that if it was when my kids were not around, that would be just fine. Like listening to a podcast or a sermon on YouTube while doing dishes, to me, doesn't ring a bell for like bad multitasking, overstimulation. But for instance, today I had an audio CD I found at the thrift that I just wanted to check out and give it a listen to. And I had it on the CD player in the dining room while I was trying to clean up the kitchen. And it's wild how frustrated internally, like I'm trying not to let it out, right? But it sneaks out, or you don't want to feel the internal frustration. So let's just cut whatever is making that happen out. So I would be in the kitchen and like my husband came down and said something, and it was like, I was so frustrated. I didn't do anything to him or say anything to him, but it just annoyed me so bad because I had missed what was said, or because I missed what he said, or if the dishwasher is on, not the dishwasher, if the sink is on and I'm doing the dishes and I couldn't hear it well enough, it was like, it was so weird. Like I just felt so much stress in my body. And I don't think I'm this person that's like prone to anxiety, to living like this crazy stressed out life all the time. I just think that as a baseline in our society now, with the way our bodies are made and the fact that we're not out doing all the things that we used to do 200 years ago, you're living under a different level of stress all the time that is not necessarily appropriate. And it's kind of like you have to keep your body in check, because it's like, hey, like this fight or flight response is for when the bear is chasing me, not for when I spill a little bit of water out of the sink. Like, what's happening? So that's definitely something I like to keep in check. And I just want to tell you, being present with your kids is absolutely where it is at. You can enjoy life so much more when your mind is not cluttered because you're doing too many things at once. Or, you know, it's going to take you a minute to come off of that, because if you've trained your brain to be that stimulated where you're constantly doing something and something else, you have to have something you're listening to while you're doing something else, because your mind couldn't possibly be content with just doing what's in front of you. It's really interesting because I used to live that, where I was just like, no, I need constantly stimulated. And on the one hand, your brain does need to grow and be stimulated. But on the other hand, I think there's a point in which it's too much and you've lost your ability to enjoy the simple pleasures of life and the small things. And then what will happen is you'll find yourself in these moments with your loved ones and you're like, wow, I really want to experience pleasure in this moment, but I can't because I've thrown off my body's ability to experience pleasure in these simple moments, because I've programmed myself to experience pleasure when I'm being bombarded by, you know, all these things, or I have gotten addicted to this feeling of accomplishment and doing, and look at all that I've gotten done. It validates me as a mom. Now I feel like I'm successful. I've accomplished something. I feel good about myself, instead of like, no, I just went through my day and I maintained and I got a lot of work done, but I wasn't running around overexerting myself, and that pace isn't sustainable anyways. Like the multitasking pace does this. It absolutely does that, because you're crushing 150% one day, you're multitasking, you've got a million things going, and then the next day you're exhausted and you can barely do anything because you totally burned out on your multitasking. It's not a sustainable way to live life. So slow and steady wins the race. I have been just loving life, and I wanted to hop on and give you some food for thought, ways for you to enjoy your mom life more, things for you to think about. You know, now when my kids come to me, they're not interrupting 500 things I'm doing, and I can greet them with love, and I'm not so busy that I don't have time to stop and put down the one task that I'm doing to go and help them. It's interesting because before, my kids needed something and I was like, I'm on a roll. You are going to have to wait. And it would take me a while because I had so many things that were on a roll that it felt like, you know, all the plates are up and spinning. And if I stop to pay attention to the picture you brought me, or the help that you need with what you're writing, or mommy, listen to my story I just finished, I can't even be present with you because I'm like mentally, I've got too many plates going. And if I put them all down, I mean, I don't even know how I got them all up there in the first place. So how am I going to actually get them all back up there again? And it's like there's too much at risk for you to slow down and be with your kids. So that's not who I want to be. That's not the lifestyle I want to live. And so paying it forward, passing it on to you. Food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing week. Love you all so much. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Until next time.